Put your name on the top left corner. Below that, put the date, and under the date, you put your professor's name. And in the middle of the paper, you put the name of your paper, the title. Okay, Georgie?
Welcome back to the Smarmy Grin Podcast episode number 12 or maybe 13. I have no idea, man. Why do I always have issues with these episode numbers? I'm just a little tired today, a little exhausted. Just got done playing basketball. Anyways, it's October 2nd, 2017. Like I said, I'm a little tired. Just got done playing ball. I was in the pool for about a good 25 minutes, listening to one of my favorite podcasts, Bill Burr. So, welcome back. It's Monday night, October 2nd. You know what time it is, right? From now till the end of the year, you know what time it is? It's pumpkin time. That's right, pumpkin time. My favorite time of the year. The holidays, fall weather, cooler weather. Oh, so happy, so happy. I will talk more on that pumpkin time issue in my last segment tonight on the vent, the bitching, the moaning. But for the first segment, I just want to touch on the Las Vegas shooting last night. Very sad, very sad. I'm just gonna put my thoughts out there, and not that I want to talk about this, but I'm just gonna throw that in. The NFL kneeling down, players kneeling down, and that whole situation. This is going to be a short podcast. I know I say this all the time, but it is going to be a short podcast, under half an hour. Figure at the top of the hour, right now it's 9:30, so I should be done by 10 o'clock. That's the plan, that's the game. And that's all I am talking about tonight. Thank you for listening again. Thank you for coming back and giving me a chance, a try. Like I said on the vent segment, my last segment of the night, I will be talking about pumpkin time. That's right, pumpkin time. Not to be confused with Clementine, but pumpkin time. So, wow, what a day. Another day. Do we really need more tragedies in our country? Woke up this morning around 7 o'clock, looked at my phone, and I was like, since it's my day off, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to sleep. I don't really feel like getting up right now. So I went back to sleep. 3.5 hours later, it was 10:30 in the morning, and I looked at my phone again, and I have noticed that there was like 5 different texts, and they were all from my mom. And so I started going through all the texts, and she's like, hey, did you see, this is when a situation or a catastrophe or something, an event like this happens, she always texts me with that question. Did you see what happened last night? You know, and then she gives me the location, you know, here and here. And so sometimes she'll over-exaggerate things, so that's why I don't really pay attention to her text that much when the text thread starts like that. But then I started reading the rest, and she's like, there was a shooting in Las Vegas and all that, and she was like, a lot of people died, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, whatever, Mom. I'm like, another one of your texts where you're blowing things up, and maybe it was a bank robbery or something like that, or whatever. So I was like, well, you know what? Let me just get on Yahoo and see what's up. So I get on Yahoo, and sure enough, there was a shooting there at the Mandalay Bay, I believe, hotel, resort, whatever you want to call it. And started reading. I'm not going to give the name of the scumbag that did this. But I just started reading the whole story and all that, and just my heart sunk. Only because, well, obviously when you have these many innocent people that lost their lives, your heart is always going to sink, because there's a lot of people that are going to be affected by this. Not just the families, but friends and co-workers, and it's just a sad situation. And it's a lot like the situation that happened here in Central Florida with the Pulse shooting. And that psycho that did that. So this is, a year and 4 months after the Pulse shooting. And this happens. And then you start hearing about where this guy's was propped up at the top of the building at one of the corner rooms overlooking this this concert that was going on across the street from the hotel. And the dude's sitting up there with, just a stash of weapons. So, I don't get these shootings. Like, I don't understand why people do this. If you're miserable with your life and you want to shoot yourself and kill yourself, commit suicide, whatever the case might be, then do it, man. Just do it. Just do it on your own. Go out into a field or something. Go out in the middle of nowhere and just shoot yourself. Go out there where nobody can see you and just do it. Commit suicide, whatever. But don't take other people out, other innocent people that have nothing to do with your issues or your personal problems. That's the way I see it. I know in life sometimes things get tough. But, we must carry on. That's it. We must carry on and do the best that we can. And if you're having issues like this, or psychological issues, obviously this person had a psychological issue, then go see a psychologist. Or do something. Don't just sit on it. Don't sit on that anger or whatever it is that you're going through. Get some help. But I've always looked at situations like this where, man, if these people are so miserable with themselves, then leave other people out of it. Leave your families out of it. Leave other innocent people out of it. Just do this and that's it. Nobody needs to know about it. Don't get other people involved. Just do it on your own without hurting anybody. So, you see the footages, footage of this whole incident on YouTube and other news outlets, and it's just sad. There's a lot of people there for this country music concert that went there just to have a good time and just to have fun. It's Las Vegas. That's what it's all about. Same thing as here in Central Florida. We got Disney. So that's what it's all about. Just having fun with your friends or family members or whatever. And then out of nowhere, this nutcase starts shooting up the place. Starts shooting up the concert. He's propped up on one of those, I forget what floor it was, but it's like one of those top floors. It was a corner floor. And that's where he's shooting. He had a stash of weapons, and that's where this guy was shooting, according to the news outlets. So it's crazy from everything that I've read, like what happened there. I just don't understand why people are still doing this. Is this a copycat issue? Is this I don't know. Who knows? It's just really sad. I feel horrible for the families. I just know what happened here last year in Central Florida with the Paul shooting, how many people were affected. Our community came together and helped each other out. And now Las Vegas has got to deal with something like that, and it's just, it's terrible. And from reading and from listening and hearing and watching our local officials here that dealt with it last year, our mayor, our fire department chief, our police chief, they were basically telling the Las Vegas authorities that, hey, we got your back. We're going to help you out as much as we can from all the things that we learned last year, so everything goes as smoothly as it can go after this tragedy. So it's awful. It's horrible. I mean, it's just awful. Last year, what happened here in Central Florida was, I believe, 48 people that passed away last year with that shooting at the club, and I think that was the, when it happened, I was like, God, I hope it doesn't ever happen somewhere else. And here we are today talking about it, and it happened. And one thing that I did read that I just couldn't believe, honestly, that these hotels in that Las Vegas Strip area, as far as security, what they're not doing is, according to a bunch of news sources, they said that this guy showed up at this hotel, rented a room, and he had a stash of weapons. First of all, how do you get that many weapons in a hotel? I don't know what these hotels have, but from what I've read, it looks like they have no security whatsoever. As far as metal detectors at the front entrances, at the side entrances, or the rear entrances. So I am completely shocked that a hotel that big and that popular has no metal detector or anything like that. I mean, I can't say that because I really, it's alleged that they don't have that type of technology there, where it just boggles my mind, because how can you not have that in an area that is one of the top tourist destination spots in the country? Same here with Orlando. Here in Central Florida, in the Walt Disney and Universal area, this whole theme park-driven area, security is pretty tight. But then you start reading stories online and on Yahoo, and they're saying, allegedly, a lot of these news sources are saying that basically Vegas is a soft target. And I find it incredible in this day and age of terrorism and homegrown terrorism that a lot of these hotels don't have any kind of form of security at the front door. How can a guy bring that many weapons into a hotel? I mean, I understand there's a lot of people, hundreds of people coming in and out of those hotels. I get it. But you got to keep your guests safe. Safe from incidents like this. Safe from other incidents. Not just these type of incidents, but it's just, to me, I was just floored by that, because, I mean, that's a big tourist destination where everybody goes. And a lot of people in the States here in the States go there from all over the world. So it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy that something like that happened. And to me, what really, my question is, how did that guy get all of those weapons inside the hotel and in that room? And a lot of people that were being interviewed right after it happened, the people that were in the concert, people that psycho was shooting at, a lot of people were saying that it sounded, at first, they thought that it was part of some kind of a fireworks show, which you can mistake that. Like, you mistake guns and machine guns to fireworks, especially if you're in Vegas. And I'm sure that's part of a lot of shows where you see all these fireworks shows everywhere. It's the same thing here in Central Florida with the theme parks. They do this towards the end of the night. So you can mistake those kinds of events, fireworks shows or firework events, to, an actual shooting, guns going off. So it's crazy. A lot of people didn't know what was going on. Obviously you go in there and you're naive because you're just there having a good time. And the last thing that you thought it was going to happen happened. So it's extremely sad that something like this happens. That's still happening in our country. I'm not for any type of gun laws, but I am for some psychological evaluation on people that are going to buy guns. And that's it. You have to go through some type of psychological evaluation every 2 years to prevent things like this happen. At least you can say the government's doing something. It is the Second Amendment right, and I protect that amendment right, but I also protect the fact that we need to stay safe. And I think the best way to keep us safe is by having some kind of psychological testing done prior to people buying guns. We just had a shooting here not too long ago, about 6 months ago in Central Florida, where some guy shot up his co-workers. I mean, there's a lot of mentally ill people in our society, and it's just, you hope and pray that a lot of these people get help so they don't hurt other people. But it was just, I don't know, I just had deja vu because I woke up around 10:30 and I saw that text from my mom. And when I saw it and I read it, it kind of reminded me of the day that 9/11 happened. That Tuesday morning when I got up, it was my day off, like today. Today was my day off. And I got up that morning and, back in those days, I used to watch Fox News a lot, which I still do. But I used to watch it more back then. So I used to get up in the morning, watch Fox News between 8:30 and 9:30. So I woke up that morning around, I think it was like 8:30, maybe 8:45 that morning. And I just remember seeing one of the towers in flames and all that. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just listening to Fox News talking about, a fire at the World Trade Center. And I was just sitting in my room and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Because, when it happened, it was 2001. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but the first World Trade Center bombing was in 93. And I remember when that bombing happened. And I remember where I was when it happened and where I was working at when it happened. And I remember reading it in the paper the next day and watching the news that night. So I thought in my head, because I was just kind of like, when I woke up, I was like half awake, half asleep. I was like, okay, maybe it's like the anniversary, and maybe that's what they're showing, like footage of that day back in 93 when the bombing happened. And I was like, maybe that's it. You're kind of like in denial and you're still trying to wake up. So that's what I was thinking. Maybe that's it, blah, blah, blah. And then I started watching more and more. As 20 minutes go by, bam, the other plane hits. And you're like, okay, it's not the anniversary. This is really going on. And that's how I felt this morning. Like, that's how I felt like. Because I woke up a little bit late, like I did that day when 9/11 happened. And when I got that text from my mom and I started reading it, I was just like, oh man, I've kind of like, when I first read it, like I said earlier, I was like, my mom is just exaggerating and all that. And then you start turning on the news and you start hearing and watching and listening and getting the full story, and you're just like, oh my God, man, that's just awful. And then it sinks in, that 50 plus people died, 500 people injured, and it's just awful, an awful tragedy that happened to another tourist destination area. So that's my biggest gripe that I have right now, is that the news media, again, this is where I agree with President Trump. The news media, again, putting the name of this shooter all over the place and about his life. Like, nobody cares about that anymore. Like, we don't want to see that as the public. We don't want to see that. We don't want to read it. We don't even want to watch it. We don't really care about this shooter and his family. We don't care about his circumstances. The only thing that we care about are those victims, those people that were affected by what happened last night by this scumbag. So stop putting the names of these scumbags, that these terrorists, basically, that's what they are, regardless of what color, religion, or whatever race they are. They're terrorists, period. So stop advertising and putting up their names all over the place. Because really, to a lot of us, it doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. The only thing that means a lot to us, the public, are the people that were victimized by this scumbag. So I'm watching all this and I was just disgusted by that. And also, my question is to this tourist destination that is Vegas. How come you guys, a lot of your hotels are in Vegas? Really, the city needs to come down hard, and the state and the county needs to come down hard on Vegas, on the city of Las Vegas. Whoever needs to get involved, they need to get involved in this. But they need to have metal detectors all over these hotels and all over these attractions and concerts and everywhere. I'm sure the concert where this was held last night, there was enough security and metal detectors there. But a lot of these hotels not to have any kind of metal detectors is absolutely ridiculous. Just think about it. Your local Dollar General has metal detectors. Your local Walgreens, your local Walmarts, your local CVS pharmacy have metal detectors. How come these big hotels and resorts and these tourist locations or destinations, how come these places, these hotels don't have that? And I absolutely don't understand that. I'm sure the hotels can afford to put up a better security system at these hotels. I'm sure that these hotels can do that. I don't know if you guys remember that movie Heat, but do you guys remember that last scene where Robert De Niro's character was looking for Waingro at the hotel at the airport? And so he goes up there to kill him. He has his gun, and it only took him, there was like no metal detectors to detect the fact that he had a gun anywhere in this hotel. So he goes up to the third or fourth floor in the elevator. The only thing that was that you can call like some kind of security were the cameras. So he goes up there, distracts the guard at the hotel room who was guarding Waingro. He distracts him, gets in the room, and shoots the guy. This movie came out 22 years ago. And nobody has ever thought about putting any kind of metal detection equipment in the hotel, in any of these hotels, like in any of these hotels in Vegas. And I'm just not talking about in Vegas. I'm talking about just everywhere, because these hotels are soft targets for idiots like this that made this happen last night. These scumbag shooters. But it's just amazing to me that a place like Dollar General has metal detectors and these big $1 million and $1 billion hotels in the Vegas Strip don't. Which is, to me, mind-boggling, and it's just inexcusable. Seriously, your hotels make tens of millions of dollars. You can afford these things. You need to keep your guests safe and people that are out and about walking around the Strip safe. Maybe the city needs to invest in cameras all along the Vegas Strip. But definitely security, the lapse in the lack of security at that hotel is one of the reasons why the scumbag went up to that floor and started shooting innocent people. So it's just a sad situation, and I just don't understand that. I don't get it. If a place like Dollar General can have metal detectors, why can't these places on the Vegas Strip have metal detectors? I don't get it. But my prayers and my thoughts are with the family tonight. I just can't imagine what they're going through and what they will be going through, because they just lost a relative or a friend, a good friend, or a really good coworker. And this is something that's good they're going to deal with for a very, very long time, and it just sucks. And it really sucks that happened, and it sucks even more that happened towards the end of the year, right before the holidays. So that's just awful. So I just I wanted to talk about that, get that off of mind. I really it did affect me today. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about the people there, because we went through that here in Central Florida. So I just I don't know. I just thought it was just I don't know, sad day. I don't know what to say. Sad day, and God bless these people that lost their lives, and the people that were wounded last night. And good job, first responders. Again, you guys put your lives on the line for all of us. So there's a lot of people here that do respect you guys, and thank you for the job that you did last night, and for our first responders here in Central Florida last year. But I just want to say God bless to all the victims, the people that lost their lives, and the people that got hurt. All those 500 people that got injured by what this scumbag did last night. So anyways, just want to move on. So, because this is fall, on the vent, the bitching, the moaning segment, which I call the vent, tonight, I just want to talk about my love for things pumpkin. I think you guys know how much I love pumpkin things when it comes to beers, coffee, especially coffee. My God. Oh, I absolutely love pumpkin coffee. Like I said before, Wawa makes the best pumpkin coffee. And last Saturday, excuse me for a moment, let me take a drink. So I'm a little thirsty tonight. Played a lot of basketball. So last Saturday, I stopped at Wawa again. You guys are probably thinking, man, this guy is obsessed with Wawa. Yes, I'm obsessed with this place at the end of the year. And then a lot of you guys don't know what Wawa is, it's a gas station. And I've talked about Wawa before. And if this is the first time you've heard about Wawa, but it's a gas station. It probably has the best concept as far as like gas stations are concerned. You walk in, the first thing you see is the area where they make your sandwiches, your lunch or breakfast or whatever it is. So that's your deli station. To the right is your coffee station, filled with different varieties of coffee flavors. And then you have your cream station. Yes, I said cream station. They have all kinds of creamers there. Amazing. Love this place. So this time of the year, towards the end of September, they start rolling out pumpkin coffee. Oh boy. I absolutely love pumpkin coffee. Delicious. My favorite coffee. But I'm glad that it's a seasonal thing, because I look forward to it all year long. And then when it finally arrives, I'm in love for 3 or 4 months. But my love for pumpkin started a long time ago as a kid, with, of course, pumpkin pies during Thanksgiving. But then that love was reinforced about 10, 11 years ago when I had my first Shipyard Pumpkinhead beer, which I absolutely love. Blue Moon makes a really good pumpkin. I like that one as well. But I have to say my 2 favorite ones are Pumpkinhead and St. Ambrose pumpkin. St. Ambrose pumpkin is so delicious in a different way than Pumpkinhead, but it's so delicious. And if you get a chance to check this beer out, if you haven't had Pumpkinhead, get one. If you haven't had St. Ambrose pumpkin, get it. It's absolutely delicious. I've had St. Ambrose I had it last year for the first time. Absolutely loved it. I can't find it anywhere around here at Total Wines or ABC. I usually get it from this pub that's out in one of our local small little towns, and they had it. I don't know where they got it from, but that was absolutely fantastic. Love St. Ambrose, and that's of course the pumpkin beers are seasonal beers, and I'm so happy and glad that they are, because this is the time of the year that I look forward to, because the pumpkin beers are out, pumpkin coffee's out. You got the holidays, you got Halloween, and right after Halloween you got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, and then New Year's, and then it's over. But you have like a good 4-month period from September all the way through the first of the year where it's all holiday and seasonal. And when September rolls around, man, my mood gets better, because I absolutely love this time of the year. And the reason why I love this time of the year, if you want to know, is because of Suzu's pedals. Suzu's pedals. Mr. Coward, Harry. If you know those quotes, that's because it's from It's a Wonderful Life. My all-time favorite movie, holiday movie. I absolutely love that movie. And the reason why I love this time of the year, it is because of It's a Wonderful Life. So It's a Wonderful Life is the reason why I absolutely love the holidays. And it's an American tradition that we watch it, that all of us, I mean, I'm sure that they still broadcast it on NBC on Christmas weekend from 9 to 12. I think I saw it last year. So I've been watching this movie since I was a kid, right, at Christmas time from 9 to 12. And it's an American tradition, and it's my tradition as well. If I can't catch it on NBC during that time frame, I have it here. I bought the DVD a long time ago, so I'll just pop it in and watch it. And in the morning, I actually watch that movie in halves. Like in the morning, I'll watch the first half with my pumpkin coffee, and then in the evening, I'll watch the second half with my pumpkin beer. Whew! Oh my God, it doesn't get any better than that. So, I know I backtracked a lot, but like I was going to say earlier, that Saturday morning, I got up right before work. I needed to get some gas. I go to Wawa. I walk in. You know what I'm getting? I'm getting pumpkin coffee because it's pumpkin time. So, I get my pumpkin coffee, and as I'm circling, because I'm a vulture, really. Like, I'm a vulture when it comes to being around pumpkin coffee and that coffee station and a coffee creamer station. So I'll just I'll basically scan the whole situation from a bird's eye view, a vulture eye view. So I'll just, I'm a vulture just coming in for my creamer. And as I do a couple of laps around the creamer station, I look to my left where that container where they keep all the donuts and all that stuff and the muffins. And I look to my left and I look at the bottom left and there's that container there. And I look at the bottom and there's the pumpkin muffin. Oh my God. And it was right next to the banana bread muffin. And I love banana bread. Seriously, if you want to clean yourself out, just get yourself a cup of black coffee. Nothing in it. Just a regular cup of black coffee and a and a banana bread muffin. Because that'll clean you out. But anyways, I saw that pumpkin muffin sitting right next to the banana bread muffin. And I was just in heaven. And I was like, this is the first time I've seen that pumpkin muffin. And I was like, oh. I really wasn't expecting to see that because I was going to go to Dunkin' Donuts next door. And you guys know my love for Dunkin' Donuts. And I was going to go get some pumpkin donuts. But I just didn't feel eating something sweet that morning. And I looked at that pumpkin muffin and I was like, perfect. Yes. So I grabbed it, bought it. Took my pumpkin muffin, took my pumpkin coffee, went to the counter, paid for it. Man, I was like a drug addict, man. I was like, people were wondering what the hell I was doing, but the whole time as I'm walking out, I'm smelling. I got that brown bag like up my nose, and I'm just smelling, taking a whiff of that pumpkin. Oh, taking a whiff of that pumpkin coffee. Oh man, so delicious. So I get in my car and I'm just like trying to get my hands in there. And I took that first piece and I put it in my mouth and I was like, oh, it was perfect. It wasn't too sweet. It was just a great blend of pumpkin, but not too sweet, moist, crusty on the outside. It was absolutely delicious. Fantastic. It absolutely made my Saturday morning. It made my whole weekend, and little things like that, oh my God, it doesn't get any better. So tomorrow morning, I'll be doing it all over again. Going to Wawa, picking up my pumpkin coffee, and getting my pumpkin muffin, and then getting addicted all over again in my car. Just double dipping on the muffin and double dipping on the coffee. It doesn't get any better than that. Oh my God, it is my favorite time of the year. So, I absolutely love this time of the year. It's my favorite time of the year. It's fantastic. It's all things pumpkin for me. And I absolutely love all things pumpkin. Like I said, it's pumpkin time for me for a good 4 months. And if you're ever in a Wawa this time of the year, get yourself that pumpkin coffee and that pumpkin muffin. And go down to your local Total Wines or ABC and get yourself a pumpkin head or a Blue Moon pumpkin beer. Ugh. I'm telling you, man. Seriously. The variety of things that we have in our country is just fantastic. It actually... Every time I think about all these different things and options that we have in our country, it reminds me of watching that documentary Once Brothers with Vlade Divac and Drazen Petrovic, one of the all-time great basketball players. And actually, I recommend that documentary. Fantastic documentary. One of my favorite basketball documentaries. So anyways, so Vlade was talking about his first experience in America and in LA. And he said he walked into a chocolate shop. And he asked the person that worked at the store, hey, do you have chocolate? And she's like, yeah, it's all around you. And he's looking with this in amazement because he's got all these different types of chocolates. And then he's talking about how he called his mom and his parents back in Yugoslavia, and he was like, Mom, Dad, and his girlfriend, and he's like, "You're not gonna believe what they have here. They have chocolate, but they have many chocolates. They got dark chocolate, white chocolate, chocolate with almond, and chocolate with this, and chocolate with that." So, I mean, coming from a communist country where you only got one thing, one flavor, then you come to America and you got all these different flavors. This is how I feel like this time of the year when it comes to pumpkin stuff. I feel like I've been living like the rest of the year, like 8 months out of the year. I feel like I'm living in a bubble, and then towards like this time of the year, from September to like the first of the year, I'm out of that bubble. And I'm like all things pumpkin and all different types of pumpkin. So I love that scene from Once Brothers, because I just start laughing because that's how I feel like when I come out of that like 8-month bubble, and then I go into the holiday bubble, I guess, if you want to say it, if you want to call it that way. But I absolutely love this time of the year. But anyways, this is the end of the Smarmy Grin Podcast. So thank you for listening again, and thank you for coming back and giving me another try. And I just want to say my thoughts and prayers are with everybody that was affected by this incident that happened in Vegas last night. So God bless everybody out there. And that's it. I just want to say God bless you guys out there and everybody that was affected. But anyways, thank you for listening tonight, and I'll see you guys on episode number 13 or 12. I don't remember. I think it's 13 though. But I'll see you guys on episode 13, and have a great night and have a great week. And I'll see you guys next time on the Smarmy Grin Podcast. Your boy JL signing out. See ya!